Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping into a chapter from Jeremiah that, honestly, feels like a modern-day political thriller. We're talking corrupt leaders, we're talking false promises, and this incredible, dramatic hope for something better. So let's just get right into it. All right, so this chapter doesn't ease you in at all. It kicks off with a bang. Right away, we're hit with this major crisis, a really dramatic and severe judgment against the leaders of ancient Judah. So the first word is woe. And you got to understand, this isn't just, woe is me sadness. In this context, it's way more serious. Think of it like a formal, legal judgment. It's like a divine indictment being handed down, and it is aimed squarely at the nation's leadership. So, pastors. Who are we talking about here? It's definitely not what we think of today. The term here is much broader. It's really the entire ruling class, the kings, the princes, the priests. Basically, anyone in charge who was supposed to be a shepherd for the people. And this whole judgment thing, it didn't just pop up out of thin air. The nation was in a total nosedive. See, after this brief glimmer of hope under the good King Josiah, a whole string of corrupt leaders took over. And they led Judah straight down a path of rebellion and idolatry, putting them on a direct collision course with the biggest superpower of the day, Babylon. And the charge against these leaders is super specific. Their job was to care for the people, right? God's flock. But instead, they scattered them through injustice, through just awful political choices. So God uses this really powerful play on words. He says since they didn't visit their flock with care, he's going to visit them with judgment. Oof. But then, just as you're feeling the weight of all this judgment, the tone just completely flips. I mean, it's a dramatic shift. Right when things look absolutely hopeless, we get one of the most powerful, incredible promises of hope in the entire book. So the prophecy makes this stunning claim. It says that even though the nation is going to be scattered to the winds, a faithful remnant, a small group, is going to survive. And not only that, but God himself promises to gather this remnant from all over the world and bring them back home. And look, this is about way more than just coming back to their land. It's about a complete and total reset of leadership. God promises he's going to put new shepherds in charge, and these leaders will be the exact opposite of the corrupt ones who caused the whole disaster in the first place.
Now, at the very heart of this promise, it isn't just a committee of good leaders. No, it's about one ultimate perfect king. This right here is a classic messianic prophecy, and it's pointing to a future ruler, someone from the royal line of David.
And this king has a special title, the branch. And it's such a powerful image when you think about it. The dynasty of King David, it was about to be chopped down like a tree, leaving nothing but a dead stump. But from that dead stump, God promises to bring forth new, green, righteous life. It's amazing. Okay, and check this out, because this is so clever. The prophecy has this subtle but totally powerful jab at the guy who was king at the time, King Zedekiah. See, his name literally meant, "The Lord is my righteousness," which, talk about a title he failed to live up to. But the coming king's name, it's "The Lord our righteousness." See the shift? It moves from one guy's failed personal claim to a shared, real thing for the entire nation. And this promised rescue is going to be so massive, so game-changing, that it's actually predicted to overshadow the most foundational event in all of Israel's history, the Exodus from Egypt. Can you believe that? The new defining moment for God's power won't be escaping slavery in Egypt anymore. It's going to be the return from exile in Babylon. So you have to ask, why was this new king, this new Exodus, so desperately needed? Well, to get that, we have to peel back another layer and look at the spiritual rot that was propping up all the political corruption. And that brings us to the false prophets. And here, Jeremiah's tone just shifts again. You can feel his deep, personal anguish. He describes this physical, gut-wrenching reaction to the words he has to speak against his own peers, these corrupt spiritual leaders. He says he feels broken, shaken, totally disoriented, just by the sheer weight of this message. And we're not just talking about a small theological disagreement here. Not at all. Their corruption was deep. It was systemic. These guys were living double lives. They were actively encouraging people to do evil things. They were just making up prophecies out of thin air. And they were even bringing their wickedness into the temple itself, the holy place. And then comes a comparison that would have been absolutely shocking to hear. God says that the prophets of Jerusalem, they've become just like Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, those are the ultimate biblical symbols for total depravity and judgment that you just can't escape. So, because of all their poisonous influence, God says he's going to feed them wormwood and gall. And that's this really powerful metaphor for the bitter consequences of their own false teaching. Basically, they're going to be forced to drink the very same poison they've been serving to everyone else. When you boil it all down, this was a battle of two completely competing messages. On one side, you had Jeremiah warning of imminent disaster if people didn't change their ways. And on the other side, well, the false prophets were offering a comfortable, easy lie. They promised peace, no problem, unconditional security, telling everybody exactly what they wanted to hear. And the whole section wraps up with this final piercing question that just cuts through all the noise. It asks, who has actually stood in the counsel of the Lord? Who has really truly heard his word? It's a question that forces you to think, where does real leadership and wisdom actually come from? Is it just from popular opinion and comforting lies? Or does it come from a genuine connection to the actual source of truth? It's a powerful way to end.